Hi there, Dr. Matthew J. Trom here. I'm going to show you how to calibrate your servo. You want to do this before you insert the servo into the 2-axis tracker. If you don't do this in advance, your servos are going to end up in what's called servo lock, which basically means that the 2-axis tracker is going to try to command them to turn in a direction where they no longer have any range to turn, and the system will lock up and you won't be able to track the sun. So it's important that you do this before you install the servos rather than try to do it afterwards. And so in order to do this, I'm going to grab what's called a servo horn, so one of these white plastic pieces, out of the bag that comes in the kit, right? So here's the bag with all the servo pieces in it. And I'm going to pick the servo horn that just has the single extension to it, because that makes this a lot easier to do. And I'm going to take this little servo horn, and notice that it has a little divot in it that allows it to fit over the top of the servo. So I'm going to push it onto the top of the servo. I don't need to push very hard, but just so that it snaps onto the top. There we go. Okay, so now I've got snapped onto the top, and what I tried to do was line it up with the long axis of the servo. And the reason that I want to do that is because if I turn counterclockwise, you can see I'm turning it by hand. That's as far as it's going to go. But if I turn it clockwise, I have quite a bit more range, right? And so this servo is out of calibration because I wanted to have as much range in the clockwise directions and the counterclockwise direction. Right now it's out of balance. So I'm going to have to kind of do this by eye a little bit, but recognizing that that's as far as it goes counterclockwise and it goes quite a bit further clockwise. I'm going to try to sort of position it maybe right about there. I'm going to pull this little servo horn off, and I'm going to put it back on, again, kind of realigned with the center of the servo. And then I'm going to just do the same process again, right? So I'm going to turn this guy counterclockwise, and I've got now about 90 degrees from that center axis of alignment. And I'm going to turn him clockwise, and I have a little bit more than 90 degrees. That's actually pretty good. I might be able to get a little bit more precise if I were to do this one more time, but that essentially shows you the point. So now that I've got more or less the same amount of travel in the counterclockwise and the clockwise directions, I want to set the initial position of the servo so that the servo horn is lined up, again, exactly with the long axis. And that gives me as much travel counterclockwise as I have clockwise. Now I just want to pop this guy off, and my servo is aligned and calibrated, so I can now install it into the 2-axis tracker. All right, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.